One of the things I've enjoyed the most is visiting the local clinic. Yeah, we went there a couple times and visited with the lady whose name is Dora, who runs the clinic. And the clinic serves between 14 and 17,000 people, and there's only 4 healthcare workers and no doctor, which is crazy. Yeah, and they also have no running water and no lights, so they deliver babies in the dark, which I think is really interesting and would be challenging. Yeah, so we talked to her a bunch and also talked to her about what it would take and what it would cost to build a new clinic. Although she faces many challenges in her work at the clinic, Dora has been faithfully serving there for over 50 years. With the few resources she has, the skills she has acquired, and the gifts God has given her, Dora continues to bless those in her home community. It was such a privilege to hear her story, and in turn to be so incredibly blessed by her servant heart and her passion for the people of Hula.
Just north of Australia, Papua New Guineans have been suffering from a deadly illness called cholera. The situation is improving since its explosive outbreak in 2010. Here in Daru, the capital of the Western Province, people have accepted the presence of this terrible sickness, while most of the world is completely oblivious to their recent hardship.
No, I was having this stomach pain. Yeah, I was having stomach pain, and then later I started having diarrhea.
Yeah, okay.
And then I went to the toilet maybe 3 or 4 times, and then stayed until it was in the night.
Yeah.
And then I felt my body was getting very weak.
Cholera is a fast-acting waterborne bacteria that causes extreme vomiting and diarrhea. The result is rapid dehydration, and if medical help is not sought, death can occur within 24 hours.
But when it started, we had is peaceful. One that had been locked door all the way outpatient. Even some were just lying around here. Yeah, we had to plant sticks there to put a nail and die with food. It was 100 plus a day.
Daru Hospital was under huge pressure to provide services to thousands of people when the outbreak occurred in October of last year.
Maybe 3 to 4,000 people.
3 to 4,000.
Yes, because we had patients coming from the nearby villages. And
over 400 people died before the epidemic could be brought under control. There are countless tragic stories of people who didn't make it to help in time.
they are coming from Fly River villages too. The whole family went down. They all died in that chemo.
Health workers were immediately deployed during the outbreak to educate the locals in cholera prevention. These are basic things such as hand washing and using clean water. All the right initiatives have been taken, but the problem goes much deeper. Water sanitation is poor, so there is not enough clean water for everyone. Houses are overcrowded and sanitation is not a priority. People must be willing to take the necessary precautions to avoid contracting and spreading the bacteria. Everyone plays a part, but not everyone is careful.
And like I said, if people are careful, then it depends on people. I think cholera is here to stay, and we will treat it as a normal sickness, like malaria.
In a culture where people are well acquainted with suffering, it is often much easier to accept and adapt to these hardships than to make the effort to see change. It is unlikely that there will be any immediate progress in terms of infrastructure and water sanitation, so it will continue to be an ongoing battle for the people of the Western Province.
We met Albert while helping the dental team, and his story is quite remarkable.
Some 5 years ago, I had a toothache. I'm a lower part of my jaw, and I went to the dentist. She took it out, and I stayed for a couple of days, and my jaw started paining and swallowed up. I went back to her. She referred me to the doctor. And I went into the surgery, and they worked on me. Something like a sample or something. Took it out, and he told me, I have to send this to Mosby, and when it comes back, then we should know what's the problem.
Albert's case was passed around for 5 years with no progress. Imagine living with that pain for so long and not hearing any results. Miraculously, the ship ended up in Daru, and Albert's case was finally referred. Without any evidence or idea of what the problem was, the dentist decided to operate to see what they could find. After 4 hours of delicate surgery, they removed a solid growth from underneath Albert's tooth, and he is now on his way to recovery.
Up until a few weeks ago, 2 young deaf girls faced a dismal and extremely limited future. Today, their futures look bright and their hopes for an education have been restored. Katie and Emma live in Hula, a small village in Papua New Guinea's central province, which, like most developing countries, lacks the specialised teaching that deaf children require. 2 weeks ago, a young man who speaks sign language came to Hula with a team from Youth with a Mission. His attention was drawn to Katie and Emma, and he immediately set out to teach them sign language in the hopes of improving their communication skills.
We actually began with the alphabet. I think that was a great place to start, and they picked it up incredibly quickly. It was pretty impressive, just in about maybe 3 hours of teaching. Then we moved on to actions and cause and effect. So I want, or give, or people's names, or go, or look, which was an easier concept to get across because it was very visual.
In addition to this, they have been learning spelling and signs for various items around the house. And in just a few days, Katie and Emma have grasped what usually takes months to learn.
I'm asking her to give water to someone's name, so it's not about pointing. So she's understanding everything that I'm signing. So she's beginning to figure out what this process of communication is, which is amazing.
Even with these few basic signs, the quality of communication within the girls' families has drastically improved. Both the girls and their parents are discovering that there is a possible way for them to effectively express their needs and emotions.
For the first time, the father could actually tell his daughter that he loves her, or just everything, just the ability to communicate to your daughter after 10 years of silence.
The continuation and development of this language will rely heavily on the support of the parents, as Jacob's stay in Hula will soon be over. He is now focusing his attention on equipping the parents to continue teaching once he leaves.
I've been in close contact with my sister back home in Texas. She's been able to actually talk to some of my teachers and the deaf community there, and they've arranged to be able to send her a package. And we're actually sending it to the school. And in that package, we're hoping to have a DVD player along with some different materials to help deaf learn.
Jacob's hopes are to not only see that these girls' education is made possible, but also to bring attention to the needs of deaf children around the world, especially in regards to education.
These two children reach some heights where they will be more mature to teach. Then I believe that will be an eye-opener for this community. Yeah. Who knows, they could become teachers to teach.
The girls are natural teachers and leaders among their peers. So now that they have access to an education, there are hopes to see Katie and Emma one day have the skills to grant them both careers and purpose. The only hindrance Jacob can identify is that there are many sign languages in use in the world today. They will find great difficulty communicating with people who use other sign systems to the one they are learning. This brings to light how beneficial a universal sign language would be, especially when reaching the more remote areas of the world.
If the whole world has this common sign language, which really can relate to different races of people.
Nevertheless, these recent events have changed Katie and Emma's lives, and they, in turn, are already changing their community. Who knows what things these two girls will bring to the world because of their unlikely encounter with sign language.